So, Ron, can you introduce yourself? Tell our audience who you are and what you do.
My name's RonMay, and I'm the Acting Executive Director at the Center for E-Business and Advanced IT in Erie, Pennsylvania. We're a nonprofit, tech-based economic development organization. Our mission at the center is to assist the small to medium-sized enterprises to understand, develop, and deploy information technology to solve business challenges and thereby become more productive and competitive and to grow their companies through technology.
I'm assuming that your organization, since you're set up to help them develop the value of technology, that you guys have always been kind of a perfect example of using technology effectively. Is that right?
Well, I wish I could say that, but we kind of fall in the same trap as all other organizations, and that was what forced us to look at managed services for our infrastructure.
Wait a minute. Does that mean this is the shoemaker's kids go shoeless? You talk a good game, but you're not walking it? Come on, Ron. What's going on?
Well, I think that you'd find out that a lot of companies will suffer the same kind of prioritization of their infrastructure as we have. Being a nonprofit and having very limited funds available rather caused us to ignore our infrastructure until it actually began to fail. So then we had to go in reactionary mode to fix the problem. We were using an internal resource who really wasn't an IT expert. He was the best expert we had, but we had hired him to be our webmaster. And he was ending up getting interrupted all the time and distracted from the work he was supposed to be doing on our website, just trying to troubleshoot the hardware and the network, and then the myriad of questions about Word and Excel and things like that that people aren't expert at. So his time was not his own. He was not getting the work done that he needed to get done on the website, which was critical to our business too. As soon as we outsourced our infrastructure support and got through the implementation of that and the conversion of data into the new off-site support that we have, he was all of a sudden freed up and was able to maintain focus, and within a month and a half, we had our new website up. Infrastructure may appear transparent until it goes bad. And then all of a sudden, businesses realize how important it is to their business and to their ongoing profitability and growth. So we got to that point ourselves when our server started to crash.
So what could you do now that you couldn't do before? I mean, what's the result? What have you seen since all this work has been done?
Well, before the new server came in, every Monday morning when we came in, that server was down about half hour to an hour because it would take that long to reboot it. And we'd all sit here waiting for the notification that, oh, server's back up now. We're good to go. So we've eliminated downtime.
So that's 52 weeks a year, and so we've added 26 hours of productivity just in this one thing, and that's 26 hours of productivity per person in your office. How many people do you have in your office?
And we have 8 on staff.
So the people at home listening can do the math. 8 people times 26 hours. That's a lot of hours of productivity that you've recouped just in this one thing. So what else can you do?
Well, with their help desk that we can call with any kind of question or any kind of problem with the computers or with the servers and the network, we don't have to depend on someone internally to do that. And so, like I said earlier, that freed up the time of our webmaster to actually do a major project. And now we have a list of major projects that we anticipate him being able to address much more quickly.
If people listening to this think about how that normally happens, you're working on a program, you have a problem, and what do? First, you try to fix it for a while because you're embarrassed to go to the one IT person. Then you go to that person. Now 2 people are wasting their time. And especially if that person can't answer it, then you go to even more time. And so, again, this is a sneaky one because you don't realize how much time that takes as opposed to each individual employee being able to pick up a phone, get an answer, get it fixed, and move on. And that they can do that. Well, how often can they do that?
They can do it as many times as they want between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. every day. And here's another thing that I think is probably important for the users out there is that this is such a change, a paradigm shift of how you may be doing troubleshooting yourself now that even for us in the first couple of months here, we're kind of having to retrain our staff to pick up that phone. Don't waste your time. We're paying for the support.
Right.
They can answer your question quickly.
Oh, right.
So it's kind of a retraining here at the center to get people to actually use that help desk, but it's coming along quite nicely now.
Great. So what else? You mentioned backups. Are you doing anything different there?
Well, yeah, the backups are full backups overnight. There are iterative backups set up like on our CFO's laptop because all of her financial data, which is highly confidential, it only resides on her laptop. So the outsourcer has actually set up a method to do iterative backups throughout the day while she's on it. So if there's anything that happens or her computer goes down or the network goes down, we still have really good backup and be able to restore within 15-minute increments on the financial data right now. So that's pretty fast.
Do you also get remote access? Is that important for your office?
It certainly is for us. Like I said, we're a very small staff, but our geographic reach is all 67 counties of Pennsylvania. And many times our people are out on the road with other economic development partners trying to help businesses out across the state. And we carry our laptops with us. If we don't have our laptops with us, we can access the network through a VPN connectivity, virtual private network connectivity feature that is afforded through this outsourcing. So there's actually multiple ways that we can gain access to our servers and our network from home or while on the road that just make us that much more productive, that the data that we need is accessible to us anywhere at any time.
So, Ron, what you're talking about here, this ability to manage your infrastructure, really has its heart and soul in what's called managed services today, which is it's a departure from what we used to call break fix, which was basically we wait until the computer's dead and then we call you. So tell me how managed services works from your standpoint and what you can expect and how it may be different from one vendor to another.
Well, first of all, let's say that break fix is not fun, especially due to the business interruptions that it causes. And it's not a very effective way to keep your infrastructure up and running. The managed services is a proactive approach to monitoring what's going on in your network, on your servers, and all of your computers. They do all types of monitoring checks with regard to spam and with regard to spyware and malware and anything else, and viruses that could be damaging or threatening to damage your network and your computers. And also, there's sometimes computers will send off these little trigger messages that something's starting to go wrong with this computer. Maybe the disk drive is getting too full, or maybe it's starting to have a power problem. And those types of monitoring things can be early warning signals that our managed services provider actually comes in once a month and reviews all of the reports with me about what's going on our network and are we in good shape or are we maybe starting to step past that threshold of you may want to consider looking at this particular problem on this particular computer because it's throwing errors out there at you. So I think the proactive approach is going to really save us not only time but probably money in the long run. We talked about all the different costs that are involved with downtime of computers and that. Well, this is a way to really prevent that from happening in your own business.
This completes Part 1. Please click on Part 2 to learn why outsourcing your IT management may be the best solution for your company.